Yeah, very good morning, friends. Welcome to Kitchen's University of Sustainability. We are in line with Sustainable Development Goals. Those are 17 goals with 169 targets, which are designed by United Nations in the year 2015. They are going to achieve by 2030 with a collaboration of international, intergovernmental, and different stakeholders. Thank you. Today, we are going to discuss about the new concept that is UNFSS. So this is UNFSS is United Nations Forum on Sustainable Standards. This UNFSS has framed certain sustainable standards. Those are voluntary based. Those are VSS. So these standards are very helpful to the traders and other stakeholders who are going to involving in that towards to make a platform for a green environment and green products and green business and entire sustainable world. So here, the majorly this UNFSS focusing on to provide information and analysis and research and as well as a discussion on VSS. The VSS is nothing but voluntary sustainable standards at all levels in the world basis. And they are aiming to promote proactive and strategic dialogue about different national policies and different experiences. They are going to issues the sustainable environmental problems. So this VSS, Voluntary Sustainable Standards, majorly focusing on achieving specific sustainability objectives of developing countries like reducing poverty, using natural resources sustainably, and protecting ecosystems. And also the opening the foreign markets and lowering potential hurdles to developmental as well as access to the markets. And also averaging the cost of compliances. And the UNFSS, which has started with a collaboration of 5 major organizations in the world level. Those are FAO, that is Food and Agriculture Organization of United Nations. And the second one, International Trade Center, that is ITC. And third one, UNCTAD, that is United Nations Conference on Trade and Development. And the next one, United Nations Environment, that is United Nations Environmental Program. And the last one, that is UNIDO, United Nations Industrial Development Organization. And the major UNSS concern is about sustainable development, the value of voluntary sustainability standards, which are going to, by pooling resources and synchronizing efforts and assuring policy coherence and coordination and collaboration among United Nations agencies. The UNFSS majorly helps to producers, traders, consumers, and standard setters, and certification bodies and trade diplomats, non-governmental organizations, as well as the researchers to talk about sustainable concerns. And also the voluntary sustainable standards impacting on decision makers for the entire global level. And the main objectives of the UNFSS focusing on achieving specific sustainability standards, majorly focusing on SDGs. Those are 17 SDGs, majorly achieving poverty and gender equality and climate action and sustainable practices in each and every activity of different organizations, and entirely the protecting environment. So the main aim of this organization is focusing to quality of public good and as well as majorly to achieving sustainable development goals. And here, so for example, the global brands and retailers like Walmart, P&G, IKEA, Nestle, Unilever, and many other majorly focusing on sustainability as an integral part for their corporate social responsibility policies. which are majorly designed to ensure the three aspects of addressing impactful work on environmental, social, and economic welfare. So, the many businesses in developing countries, especially small and medium-sized ones, they're facing challenges in complying with voluntary sustainable standards because of many obstacles like infrastructure obstacles in public finance. So all these are some of the impactful for businesses, and this UNFSS is going to help developing countries to minimize the potential cost for adjusting to voluntary sustainable standards. They are also helping to maximize economic, social, and environmental benefits that voluntary sustainable standards can going to bring in the future. And the sustainable standards are very, very important specific rules that are going to guarantee the products you are going to buy that don't hurt the environment and people also to make them. And standards are basically considered a market-based tool that is going to transform production, global supply chains, and consumption patterns into more sustainable manner. That is what the UNFSSC. And these sustainable standards are increasing in recent years. They are also focusing majorly on build newer and greener economy. And 2030 agenda for sustainable development, recognizing the international trade as an engine for inclusive economic growth and poverty reduction weapon, as well as an important means of procedure to achieve sustainable standard development goals, which are prescribed by the United Nations. And the VSSR worldwide community, which has been growing rapidly. So here, the International Convention on Sustainable Trade and Standards, focusing sustainable standards, especially at global trade tool. So it is also important to take an account that they're going to consider long transactional production lines that is going to comply with VSS, that is voluntary sustainable standards across each and every actor along with global supply chain. The purpose of ICSTAs is to firstly to create an awareness and challenges opportunities of VSS schemes that are going to achieve the sustainable development goals of United Nations. And there are different national multi-stakeholder platforms under UNFSS are working all over the world. So those are majorly going to help to several economies, majorly emerging economies like Brazil, China, and India, Indonesia, Colombia, Mexico, South Africa, and CARICOM and Andean community. They are majorly to develop multi-stakeholder platforms and initiatives under UNFSSC for voluntary sustainable standards, that is VSS. And those are like African continental platform on voluntary sustainable standards and Brazilian national platform on voluntary sustainable standards and Chinese national platform on voluntary sustainability standards and Colombia national platform on voluntary sustainable standards and Indian national platform on private sustainability standards and Mexican national platform on voluntary sustainable standards. And the Indian national platform on private sustainability standards. So it has been taken out with a collaboration with Quality Council of India, majorly to facilitate dialogues between the core public and private stakeholders. And the major work on how to maximize sustainable development benefits and market access opportunities of private sustainability standards. And this platform has been first platform under the aegis of UNFSSC. So along with the initiative members like FAO, ITC and UNCTAD, UNEP, and UNIDO. And this platform is majorly working on that institutional building capacity and knowledge creation through data-driven research and studies and knowledge sharing through different national and international forums, and also the platforms of web presence, and also promotion of PSS to achieve the sustainable standards or sustainable development goals of United Nations. And we have the voluntary sustainability standards under the agencies of UNFSS. So the voluntary sustainable standards are basically special rules that are guaranteeing the products you are going to buy in the market, that those are not going to hurt the environment as well as the people. And the number of these standards are majorly growing recently each and every day. So these standards are working to keep workers healthy and safe, protect communities as well as the landforms, and as well as the human rights, and majorly focusing on environmental impacts of production and consumption. The VSS standards are basically focusing on economic sectors like foresting, farming, mining, and fishing, concentrate on environmental factors like protecting water resources as well as biodiversity issues and reducing greenhouse gas emissions, and also supporting social protections and workers' rights. And this also home in specific parts of production process. The voluntary sustainable standards also focusing like small scale farmers, producers in developing countries. They are going to cover a full range of environmental impacts throughout the product life cycle, and also identify, promote best practices, support continuous improvement in the meanwhile of sustainable development goals. Those are the 17 goals are prescribed by the United Nations. So this is about the today lecture on United Nations Forum on Sustainability Standards. I hope you got a good information today. If you feel this is worthy, please share, comment, and thank you so much.